Hello everyone, today is 19th of February, Monday, now it's 10 past 10 in the morning Moscow time. I'm Levan Gudadze and this is my first update for the day in which I will share all the main news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets and Russian language pages on different internet platforms. There are quite a few very significant developments and news that I like to share with you for this moment. But before I start, let me notice for all the members of our community who will watch this update on YouTube that I have a channel on Rumble platform also, and quite actively trying to develop this channel. And please, if you can, consider to subscribe on my channel here on Rumble. Link is in the description box or in the pinned comment. I have all the updates on Rumble also, updates that I'm uploading on YouTube. And also I have some extra content on Rumble exclusively for this channel on Rumble platform, which is live streams from Monday to Thursday, 9 o'clock evening Moscow time, from Monday to Thursday. If I manage to do it Friday also, which is, I mean, for me at least personally, great opportunity to be engaged with the community and to have exchange of opinions in real time about just about anything really. And hopefully this extra content will help me to attract more interest towards my Rumble channel and to reach wider audience. So if you can, please subscribe to my Rumble. As I said, link is in the description box or in the pinned comment. And same time, by the way, one more announcement. Sorry for this long intro, but I decided to become a little more active on Twitter or X. I was sharing on Twitter just links to my updates, but from today, at least for some time, I will try to share some news also. As you can see, I already share some news, and if you can, please subscribe to my Twitter also. Link is also in description box or in the pinned comment. Maybe sometime in the future, Twitter or X will also become some useful addition to this small media project of mine. So I'd be happy if you will subscribe to my page on Twitter and to my page on to my channel on Rumble. That will be great support, of course. And now let's talk about news. Sorry for this long intro, but dear friends, I know not everyone is watching updates entirely, and therefore whenever I have some announcement to make, I have to do it in the beginning of the video. But anyway, let's talk about news now. And first of all, of course, Donetsk sector of the front line and Avdiivka direction. According to latest reports, Russian armed forces, as a result of continuation of clashes in the northern sector of the front line, northern sector of the Avdiivka, established full control over this industrial zone. I guess there were some small pockets of resistance of Ukrainian units in this area, and as a result of Russian operations, military operations, some Ukrainian units were most likely neutralized, some flee this area, and some most likely did surrender. I share this video on my Telegram and Twitter page. You can see here heavy bombardment of northern industrial zone where this chemical plant is located. As you can see, quite severe bombardment of positions of Ukrainian armed forces in that territory, and it is quite understandable if Ukrainian units made decision to flee this area or surrender before they can to do it. So, well, it's official now. It's official. This industrial zone is also under full Russian control, and basically entire Avdiivka is under Russian control, by the way. And also when it comes to this direction, yesterday afternoon, evening time, some military channels start reporting that Russian armed forces established control over the Lastachkina settlement, which is, as you can see, just a few kilometers away from Avdiivka itself, and retreating Ukrainian units were passing through this settlement. Some might even stay to establish some new defense lines. And the Russian pursuing forces were on outskirts of Lastachkina already day before yesterday, I believe. But for now, we don't really have any photo or video evidences that confirmations that Russian armed forces established full control over this settlement. I guess villages disputed between the sides. Some parts are controlled by Russian forces, and some part is by Ukrainian units. And the village itself, as you can see on this map, just like several roads, a few dozen of buildings, little some farming area here. I mean, it's not a big area, big settlement, but whatever the case, of course, there are plenty of Ukrainian soldiers in this area, and the Russian side will take a cautious approach to its advances. And also Russian military channels are reporting that Russian units are on outskirts of Severnoye, this small village. This is even smaller than Lastachkina. I don't know, just few buildings here, and that's it really. 1, 2 roads, okay, 3 roads, and that's it. All village. Although next to it is Toninka, and Russian forces supposed to be on outskirts of both of those villages. So maybe in upcoming days, Russian side will establish control over Severnoye, Toninka, Kladoviще, Lastachkina, and will probably move towards Orlovka and Gastronom, these villages here. This is when it comes to Avdiivka direction. Also, by the way, we have reports that Russian armed forces continue their local scale offensive operations in Chasiv Yar direction. Also, and yesterday we received a report that forward units of Russian military entered Krasnoye village or Ivanovskaya, which is right next to Bakhmut, in between Bakhmut and Chasiv Yar. Basically, this is Chasiv Yar, this is Bakhmut, this is Krasnoye or Ivanovskaya. And this settlement is now disputed between the sides. Russian units are controlling at least northern eastern parts of this village, as I understand for this moment, which is a very important development, because once Russian forces will establish control over the Krasnoye, then of course next is Chasiv Yar itself. And we already had reports, and I reported about it in previous updates, that forward units of Russian armed forces were conducting reckoning force operations in Canal area. Canal is district, one of the districts of Chasiv Yar, this area here. So I guess Chasiv Yar definitely will be military operations in direction of Chasiv Yar will be definitely activated even further. And most likely it will not take long before Chasiv Yar will become under full Russian control, and same time, of course, Konstantinovka, by the way. And also interesting reports from Zaporizhzhia region, Zaporizhzhia sector of the front line. According to Russian military channels, as a result of successful offensive operations in Orekhov bridgehead area, Russian armed forces established control over at least four Ukrainian strongholds. In Rabotina area, also Russian forces are conducting offensive operations in between Rabotina, which is this village, by the way. Also, not really huge village, just a few roads. Between Rabotina and Verbovo, and some military channels were reporting yesterday evening that forward units of Russian armed forces re-established control, basically, over this first line of defense that was breached by Ukrainian units during this so-called spring-summer offensive. And you know, most likely you see these areas where these dragon teeth were located. And Russian units, according to yet again reports from some Russian military channels, this area where those dragon teeth are located, or first line of defense, is under Russian control again, and forward units of Russian armed forces are on outskirts of Rabotina itself. we have a significant intensification of clashes in this area, and well, I would not be surprised at all if we will see some sectoral scale offensive in Zaporizhzhia sector, not just in this Orekhov bridgehead, but also towards Orekhov city itself. Although to conduct assault operation towards Orekhov, Russian forces have to establish control over the Malaya Takmachka, Novodanilovka, Novoandreevka, and these settlements are heavily fortified, so it's going to be very heavy clashes. Of course, it's not going to be easy. Nothing is easy on the front line, of course. And Russian units are quite active on Kamenskaya direction also, and the Pitikhatki area is under heavy bombardment. This settlement itself is in gray zone, and no one side has full control over this village. And it is quite possible that rumors that are circulating in internet are correct, and Russian forces maybe really have some huge military feast in Zaporizhzhia sector, some 50 to 60,000, from 40 to 60, let's say, thousand military personnel, which is huge number, of course. And if it's true, then most likely it is possible at least that we will see some, maybe not large scale, but at least sectoral scale of offensive operation, like we see in Avdiivka. Well, me personally, I think Russian side probably will focus on Seversk after Avdiivka, because it seems to me that Seversk, to establish control over the Seversk and surrounding areas, are much more important. To continue then offensive operations in the direction of Kramatorsk, Slavyansk, for example. So I don't know. Let's see how the situation develops. Anything is possible. Many people are asking in which direction Russian armed forces will focus now after Avdiivka, and I guess only few people in general staff of Russian armed forces knows about this. We can just have guesses. It might be Zaporizhzhia sector of the front line, it might be Krasny Liman sector of the front line, Seversk surrounding areas, it might be Kupiansk direction. Who knows? Who knows really? And this is it, by the way, when it comes to short summary of the situation on Ukrainian battlefield. I remind you, dear friends, that there are plenty of military channels. You can see some of those links to some of those channels in the recommendation list that I have under every my video in description box. And if you are interested in more detailed information on these local scale skirmishes, of course you can check those military channels. They are providing great volume of this additional detailed information on local scale skirmishes on the line of contact. My channel, my program is about news in general, so I will continue if I may. And next news is from RIA Novosti, according to which Russian armed forces, Russian air defense system, shut down 2 Ukrainian drones over the Bryansk region this morning. This was reported by governor of the region, Alexander Bogomaz, and according to him, there was no casualties on the ground or any damage. RIA Novosti's report also basically with the confirmation from Defense Ministry that Russian armed forces established control over the industrial zone, northern industrial zone in Avdiivka, where this chemical plant is located. I already mentioned this. Also, RIA Novosti's report that according to former Prime Minister of Ukraine, Nikolai Azarov, Vladimir Zelensky will lose its legitimacy on 21st of May, when his presidential powers will expire. And well, only way that Zelensky can maintain power after 21st of May is to continue prolongation of martial law. But I think it's not going to be easy for Zelensky. He might be able to prolong martial law towards the end of March. And every time this martial law is prolonged for 3 months, approximately, I believe, and he might be able to had enough support in Rada, Ukraine's parliament, to prolong martial law for another 3 months, but that's probably it. I don't think he will be able to prolong it once again after that, and therefore, one way or another, through presidential elections or through some other means, but Zelensky most likely will be removed from the office. I guess presidential elections will be announced towards the end of May, if not a little earlier, and Zaluzhny, former head of general staff of Ukrainian armed forces, will participate in that elections and will probably replace Zelensky in presidential office. That's my understanding of the situation, but yet again, only time will tell. Also, quite interesting report here that according to high-ranking Russian military official, Colonel General Sergei Rudskoy, who is high-ranking official who is serving in general staff, by the way, so he's very well informed, I suppose. So according to him, military personnel of NATO definitely is fighting in Ukraine against Russia and participating in military operations. NATO personnel is disguised as mercenaries, and they are in charge of air defense systems, Western-made air defense systems. They are in charge of Western-made MLRS systems, multi-launch rocket systems. They are in charge of drone operations, maritime drone operations included. And some of them are even participating in assault operations, according to Russian general, and are actively involved in planning of the operations. And well, me personally, I never had any doubts about it. I guess many of you also. But well, it's always good when you have information from high-ranking officials who are basically in a position to know better than ordinary citizens. And it will be even better if Russian Defense Ministry will provide. I know it's not gonna be easy. But maybe if it's possible, at least it would be good if Russian Defense Ministry will provide some videos of interrogations of this NATO personnel when they are acknowledging who they are, when they were sent, and what they were doing. And I guess Russian Defense Ministry has this information, has videos of tapes of interrogation of those mercenaries, formerly mercenaries, in reality NATO military personnel. And maybe those videos will be shared with the public. It is possible. One may ask why Russian Defense Ministry already didn't provide these factual evidences. And it's a good question, and I don't have an answer. Maybe Moscow just don't want to further escalate with NATO. I don't know. But maybe we will see some factual evidence also. Artist report, by the way, that one of the EU states is willing to give all its artillery to Ukraine, according to Prime Minister of this state. And you guessed which country I'm talking about. Denmark, by the way, which is actively used against Russia by Washington for many years, way before Ukrainian crisis started, way before special military operation. And Washington is using Denmark against Russia not just in European political affairs, let's say, or in terms of economical developments. I remind you that Denmark was challenging Germany and Russia when that Nord Stream pipeline was built. Although eventually Denmark was forced to back down, but we know what happened after that. The US just blown up this pipeline, Washington. But, well, Denmark definitely have been used against Russia by Washington in many instances, in many directions, including in Arctic areas, by the way, in Arctic. And one may ask what this Baltic nation has to do with the Arctic. But, well, formally, by the way, Denmark is in charge of Greenland. Greenland is part of Denmark. and Greenland definitely is a part of Arctic, and therefore Denmark is recognized as a Arctic nation, northern nation, and unfortunately, Danish government allows U.S. elites to use it as a tool, weapon against Russia in Arctic also, and I guess because of these extremes, Russian side is, for example, considering to withdraw from Arctic Council, because basically it's nobody there left with whom there can be some serious talks. I mean, it's better if Moscow will directly talk to Washington than if every other member of Arctic Council is acting under Washington's orders. And recently I did report about it, by the way, if you remember. Russian side stopped paying its fees for Arctic Council, and well, it is highly likely that Russia will withdraw from this organization. But well, I divert a little bit from the main point of this news. So Denmark will transfer all of its artillery to Ukraine. Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen said during the panel debate at the Munich Security Conference. According to her, despite the production issues, Copenhagen and the EU in general have enough arms stockpiles to supply their country with the necessary weaponry. Well, too bad, really. Too bad, Denmark. This is not your fight, and why you are entering it. Why Denmark leadership is, or any other leadership, by the way, of NATO states are acting this way. It's mystery. Although they are puppets of Washington, so maybe it's not that mysterious stuff, really, after all. But why societies in the West, man, are so passive and are not challenging these so-called elites in their countries that are positioning them or their countries as enemies of Russia? I don't know. And when it comes to Denmark itself, by the way, just look at this news. Danish government is demonstrating how anti-Danish they really are, because they are sacrificing defense capabilities of Denmark. They are sacrificing security of Danish people for Washington and the geopolitical agenda of the globalists, Western ruling class, and so on. It's factual, isn't it? So they are selling, and this is not the first country, by the way, which is effectively demilitarizing itself. If you remember, several months ago there were elections in Slovakia, in Eastern Europe, and new government was formed after that election, and the new defense minister said after a few weeks that he was in charge, that previous government basically, I mean, demilitarized Slovakia, because almost everything that the defense ministry and Slovakia's army had was transferred to Kiev regime. And I guess Denmark will do the same in many ways, and some other European states also, not just Denmark. It's sad, it's just really unfortunate. But it is what it is, what you're gonna do. RIA Novosti's report, by the way, that Pashinyan, Prime Minister of Armenia, made a quite interesting statement, let's say, this way, that Armenia is not in support of Russia when it comes to Ukrainian issue. So basically he positioned himself and Armenia as against Russia, which is not really move that one should expect from so-called strategic partner, and formally at least Armenia is a strategic partner of Russia. But well, that's opinion of Prime Minister Pashinyan. He could say nothing. I mean, he just could shut up and say nothing. But no, he chose to articulate that Armenia is not an ally of Russia in Ukrainian issue. Okay then. I guess Moscow will be forced to take some actions, man. And best actions, in my opinion, will be to forced Armenia out of all the organizations that Russia is in. First of all, from collective security organization. Pashinyan is against Russia. Okay, Armenian society supports him in Armenia, by the way. It's their choice. No questions. I mean, okay, just stay away from us then. And if it was up to me, I will remove Russian military base from Armenia immediately, and we'll say goodbye on very good terms. I mean, goodbye, stay away from us. We don't want to have anything to do with you, and you do whatever you want, man. That will be best approach from Moscow, and basically prime example what is happening to countries when they are messing around superpowers and becoming part of when becoming side in the conflict between the superpowers. And well, that's what I will do, man. And just a statement in these regards. If Moscow will just make statements that it's considering withdrawal of base and considering Armenia to be removed from collective security organization, which is an organization that was created by former Soviet republics, just statements, by the way, will wake up, probably force many people in Armenia to wake up. Because this is big issue, by the way. This is big deal. Pashinyan just a few days ago said that he thinks Azerbaijan is preparing full-scale war against Armenia. And only reason, by the way, why Azerbaijan don't attack Armenia right now is because Russia has a mutual protection agreement with Armenia. Oh yes, on part of Moscow, I will dismiss this agreement also, of course. Because Armenia is definitely not an ally of Russia. And Pashinyan is openly saying this. And only reason that stops Azerbaijan right now to cut land corridor between Azerbaijan and the Nakhichevan Autonomous Republic, which is also part of Azerbaijan and are landlocked and bordering Armenia. Let's look at the map, by the way. So here, this is Armenia, this is Azerbaijan, and this is Nakhichevan here. And the only reason why Azerbaijan is not conducting operation to establish land bridge with Nakhichevan is agreement of Armenia with Russia on mutual protection, and because Armenia is part of OSCE, this ODKB organization, collective security organization. So if Armenia is openly declaring itself as a non-ally of Russia, not a partner of Russia, then I don't see a reason why Moscow should stay loyal, or I know some actions has to be taken, man. I mean, because this is really too much, man. This is really too much. And if Moscow will declare that, okay, we've had enough, I mean, you don't want to be strategic partner of Russia, it's your choice, no problem, good luck with it, and well, just please leave this organization. We are dismissing this agreement with you about mutual protection, and we are withdrawing our base from Armenia. And that's it. And we will wish you good luck also. We have no issues with you. Best of luck. That's what Moscow should do, man, in my personal opinion. And believe me, vast majority of Armenian society will wake up straight away. And they will realize what the hell is going on here. And maybe they will realize then how important Russia is for security of Armenia. Because otherwise, it seems like they've forgotten in which region they are living, what the hell is going on around them. So they may be, it may be necessary to remind society in Armenia what's going on. Maybe. And how important it is for Armenia to have adequate government. Not like this one, this idiot, man, Pashinyan, but some adequate people that are not acting on the orders of US ambassador in Yerevan. But anyway, dear friends, anyway, sorry I talked too much on this topic, but this is Southern Caucasus region, and I am from Georgia originally, and when I see some developments in Southern Caucasus that can destabilize entire region, of course I'm becoming a little nervous, because I don't want any negative to happen to that region. But unfortunately, politicians there are quite often very inadequate, man. Very. There was times when Georgia had a crazy leadership during the Saakashvili's reign. Now it's Armenia, by the way. This Pashinyan is like Saakashvili, man. Both are puppets of Washington, crazies. Saakashvili was anti-Georgian element. Pashinyan is anti-Armenian element, man. That's how I see it. Anyway. TASS news agencies report here that Washington Post reported that EU member states are discussing creation of some alternatives, some additions or alternatives to NATO in case Trump will be re-elected as a president of US. Well, I don't know what is going on with European politicians, man. Trump already was president in US. Why is this buzz all about? I mean, what's going on? Why so much talk about Trump in Europe, among European officials? All Trump was asking for is to, this NATO member states to pay for their security. Is it too much to ask, for God's sake, man? What's going on here? I don't know. I truly don't understand what's going on, because Trump already was president of US, and he did not dismiss NATO. He did not remove US from NATO. He did nothing basically against NATO. All he was asking is these NATO member states to increase their share in investments of this security organization and collective security by increasing their defense spendings, which is quite logical, for God's sake. Why US and US taxpayers have to pay for protection of, I don't know, man, Denmark, for example? I mean, I don't think many citizens of US can even show you Denmark on the map, because they just don't care about Denmark, for God's sake. Or why should they pay for security of Spain, man? Or France? What for? Are they have not enough issues in US that needs to be financed? It's so simple, isn't it? But I don't know, man. These Europeans get really lazy, or I mean, these elites in Europe, because US was paying for everything, and they used to it. And they want to continue, US, you protect us, we do what we want, but you pay for everything. You will receive paycheck. But it's not okay for Trump, it's not okay in general, basically. And I don't know, I truly don't understand what is wrong with these European politicians, man. Why they are scared Trump's election. He was president, he done nothing against NATO. I don't know. I just don't know. It really seems like there are serious conflict inside the Western ruling class, isn't it? I mean, if you think about it, of course, behind Trump there are some forces also, some hidden forces, so shadow forces, and there are some forces behind these European politicians, so-called politicians, and Democrats in US, and neolibs and so on, neocons, and they have some civil war between each other. It seems like, because otherwise, why so much hysteria around Trump's personality? I mean, It's just not serious, man. But anyway, let's continue. RT's report: the top US senator wants Russia labeled as a state sponsor of terrorism, and of course this is going to be one of the neocons, and it is one of the neocons. US Senator Lindsey Graham has claimed that the passing of the opposition figure Alexei Navalny in Siberian prison was not an accident before medical examiners have determined the exact cause of the death. This idiot, this Lindsey Graham, wants Russia to be blamed now, state sponsor of terrorism. Do whatever you want to do, man. Who cares, really? I mean, someone have to tell him, you know, that nobody cares about him, his opinion, about Washington, about what Washington gonna do, blin, or not gonna do. We here in Russia, we just don't give a damn about it. These people with their exceptionalism, this sick idea that they are exceptional, man. Now we are exceptional and we are world police and we have to teach everybody everything, what is good, what is not. Who the hell are you, for God's sake? And you, senator of US, country that just a few months ago destroyed pipelines, strategic pipeline, and conducted biggest act of international industrial terrorism. You are talking about labeling some other country as a sponsor of terrorism. I mean, you are laughable, you sick animal. This Lindsey Graham really is a sick animal, man. This disgraceful garbage. And someone have to tell him, man. Someone have to shut him up. This fucking idiot, man. He's a shame of US, man. When you see the people like Lindsey Graham, I mean, what kind of thoughts you are gonna have about US, man? If these people are representing US, what you gonna think US is really? Unbelievable, man, unbelievable. And some people vote for this animal to be their representative in Senate. Wow. What a great choice, man. Unbelievable, man. And this very same idiot, this very same garbage is trying to play with Trump now. He is a bitch, isn't it? And he is trying to play now around Trump to gain some, I don't know, man, some sympathies from Trump. Who knows? And he is making statement that NATO should kick out underpaying members. And this is definitely ball towards Trump's field, isn't it? This prostitute, man. This is prostitute, this bitch, man. Fucking animal, though. Sorry for, you know, I cannot have any respect, by the way, for those disgraceful creatures, man. I truly don't, man. And, you know, it is what it is, man. I don't see them as decent human beings, and I will never see them as decent human beings, because they are not. This type of people like Lindsey Graham and the rest of them neocons, man, or neolips, or fucking disgrace, man. But anyway, RT is reporting that well, Germany is listening statements from US. Undoubtedly, what are the options they have? Germany is occupied country, and they will listen to their masters, of course. And well, Germany's multi-billion military budget increase could bring the country's spending on its army to as high as 3.5% of GDP. Defense Minister Boris Pistorius has stated. However, he did voice certain doubts about Berlin's ability to maintain expenditure at such a level in the long run. Come on, Pistorius, you know you can pay, because you have to. You are occupied country, and you do whatever you are told to do from Washington. That's it. You are nobody there. Pistorius. You should know that. You are just a bitch of whoever is in charge in White House there. Or maybe even, I mean, not in White House, but Langley, by the way. You are just a small prostitute of Langley. That's what you are. CIA. You know? And I guess, by the way, main decision maker in Germany is ambassador of US in that country. Most likely, that's a real decision maker. Not the chancellor, not a defense minister or finance minister or whoever. No, ambassador of US in Germany is the main decision maker in that country. And of course, ambassador is acting under orders of his bosses in Washington, obviously. But yet again, man, I mean, these disgraceful creatures, man, how you can respect these people, man? This Pistorius, Scholz, Moltz, Graham, Blin, this fucking idiot in Denmark that is stating that Denmark gonna transfer all artillery to Ukraine. And then she's kind of proud that, you know, that just look at what we are doing, man. We are sending all of our artillery there. From where these people came from, man, for God's sake, man? From which psychiatric institution? Because none of them are adequate. None of them, man. If true psychiatrists check these people, man, that are in charge, formally in charge of Western states, I don't think any of them will pass tests, you know, on mental stability. They are sick individuals, they are uneducated ones, and just, you know, disgraceful bastards, man. That's what they are, really. Anyway, let's continue. TASS News Agency's report here that, British Navy, British Royal Navy reported about yet another strike on a commercial ship off the coast of Yemen. What a surprise, man. What a surprise. No reports in this news about what ship, what type of ship was targeted, but this vessel received some damage, although crew is alive, according to British Navy. And the question is, I mean, then why on earth you are bombing Yemen then? Why you start bombing Yemen instead of negotiating with the Ansar Allah movement or Houthi rebels? Why you didn't try diplomacy and persuade them not to conduct these strikes on the vessels? You are bombing for how long now? Months? Yemen, and what you achieve? UK and US? Nothing, isn't it? Or no? They achieve, by the way. More drops, more bombs and missiles they will use against Yemen. More money will go to military-industrial complex for new ones, isn't it? That's all it is, man. It's always business. It's always business, man. And main forces in charge are, of course, military-industrial complex. That's all it is, really. RT's report. Pentagon, by the way, confirmed information that Houthis deploy underwater drone for the first time. So it's not just US and UK strikes are failing, by the way. Houthi rebels are managing to deploy new type of weapons, including now underwater weapons. Okay, how are you gonna comment this, man? I mean, it was so obvious from very beginning that these strikes not gonna do nothing. They're gonna just radicalize Ansar Allah movement. And that's what exactly happened. But yet again, man, someone is benefiting from this whole nonsense, isn't it? From this tragedy, I will say. And this someone is the US military-industrial complex. Follow the money, you know? Anyway, let's continue. RT is reporting that von der Leyen wants a second EU term, according to Bild. So Ursula von der Leyen will formally announce her candidacy for a second term as president of European Commission on Monday. German tabloid Bild has reported so today. She will probably make statement that she wants to continue make people laugh worldwide, and she wants to stay on her current position. Okay, me personally, I don't care. She is a quite okay clone or clown, and she can continue, man. She can continue to talk about these washing machines and and stuff. I mean, and we can laugh. It's all good. It's all good, man. TASS news agencies report that US is start working on the plans to counter Russian to counter Russian the space program, allegedly in the works, according to which Moscow is planning to deploy some nukes into space, nuclear weapons. Okay, man, this is also nonsense, but this is, by the way, high-ranking officials that are talking about this stuff, man. I mean, if it was some comedy show, okay, I mean, we laugh and we continue but our day, but this is high-ranking officials that acting this way. They come up with this nonsense that Russia gonna put some nukes in space, and they are now again coming up with the resolutions for nonsense that themselves created. Okay, let's see what Washington and US military is gonna do. They will put some nukes in the space, of course, and they will say that this is response for Russian nukes, while Russia don't have any nukes in the space and don't even have any plans to do so. But once US does it, well, I guess then Moscow will follow suit, and China will do the same, maybe India also, and okay, let's militarize space also then. What a bunch of idiots, man, really. It's not surprising that Western world is failing, by the way, failing big time. It's really not surprising, because just take a look at the elites, so-called elites in the West, man. Take a look at their profile, man, their intellectual capacities, their human capacities, their track record. They are miserable, disgraceful individuals, man, those so-called elites. And it's definitely not surprising that Western this dominance is failing over the world, and Western states are failing one by one. It's unstoppable. It cannot be stopped at this point, by the way, because when you have such senators like Lindsey Graham, when you have president like Biden, man, who barely understands who he is and where he is, when you have chancellor in Germany like Scholz and this 360 Annalena Baerbock as a foreign minister, by the way, someone that has no idea about nothing at all, nothing. When you have Sunak as a prime minister in UK, by the way, person that makes statements about human rights in other countries, and same time Julian Assange is in prison unlawfully in UK. That disgraceful person is prime minister of United Kingdom, that Sunak, that says nothing and does nothing to free Assange. When you have such leaders, by the way, what you expecting, really? Anyway, RIA Novosti's report that Putin called the most trustworthy partner for Russia, and well, according to him, life did demonstrated, especially last several years during these sanction wars against Russia and proxy war against Russia that Western ruling class is waging, that most trustworthy country for many people, for me personally also, surprisingly is, according to Russian President, Turkey. Well, one may agree with this point of view, one may not, but well, Turkey did not impose any sanctions on Russia. And Turkey continues to work with Russia and transits Russian gas, and Turkey does exactly the opposite. They want more cooperation with Russia. They want more energy to be transferred to Turkey from Russia, so that Turkey will become energo hub in the region and for Europe, first of all. And in that sense, well, of course, Erdogan's administration made quite number of steps, by the way, that was questionable and are questionable, undoubtedly. And most likely Erdogan's government will do some cringe stuff again. But in general, I mean, generally speaking, yes, Turkey, for whatever reason, because of their economical situation or because of their some historical issues with some countries, neighboring countries, or some other stuff, for whatever reason, Turkey is maintaining these working relationships with Russia, which is beneficial for both countries, by the way. I would not say that it's not beneficial for Russia. It is beneficial for Russia, of course, but it is very beneficial for Turkey also. And in that regard, yes, if we are talking about Western Alliance or NATO member states, then well, Turkey definitely acting quite relatively adequately, let's say it this way. But when it comes to NATO member states or EU, by the way, I will definitely mention Hungary. I mean, Hungary is a pinnacle, at this point, is a pinnacle of adequacy on a background of what is going on in the rest of the Europe, man, or EU member states, let's say. Hungary, and nowadays Slovakia is trying to act adequately, new Slovakian government, but let's see if they will be able to withstand pressure from the Brussels. But Budapest, Hungary definitely is at least trying to act adequately. And by the way, last news for today is quite long update, I guess. Yes, 52 minutes, 53. But anyway, RT is reporting that, well, according to energy giant Shell, global LNG demand will surge 50%, which is quite a lot. So global demand for liquefied natural gas will increase more than 50% in less than 2 decades, according to LNG Outlook 2024, released this week by British energy giant Shell. A surge in demand by 2040 is expected due to economic growth projected for China as well as for South Asian and Southeast Asian nations that are rapidly switching from coal to gas in their industrial sectors. And well, by the way, this is great news, of course, for Russia, for LNG producer nations, and for Russia. First of all, I don't care about other LNG producers, really, but I care about Russia, and this is great news for Russia, of course, and great opportunity to get rid of European market once and for all and divert these additional volumes of gas towards Asia as LNG, by the way, because it's a huge market. They are able to pay much more than European states can, and well, they are acting normal. They're not acting against Russia. They're not acting hostile towards Russia. They want to do business. That's all, and that's the right approach. While to do business with Europe, by the way, it's nightmare, and the European states are unreliable partners. It's just too obvious. And same goes for any other country in collective West, man. US, Canada, you name it. They cannot be seen as reliable partners. They definitely are not, and they are acting as a hostile towards Russia. So, if it was up to me, I will definitely cut supplies to Europe and divert these additional volumes towards Asia, man, because Asian market will grow another 50% in just 20 years. It's a huge blin. It's a huge. Well, that's it, by the way. That's it for today's update. Hopefully you will find this this video interesting, useful, informative, maybe somewhat entertaining, because you know, sometimes when I go a little emotional, I can understand why some members of our community find it funny and entertaining. It's good if it is entertaining. Well, if you find this video interesting, entertaining, informative, and okay one, then please click that like button, leave some commentary just about any topic you like. More likes and comments supposed to help to reach wider audience, to deal with the algorithm. And for very same reason, please share links to my videos or my channel video friends on both platforms, by the way, Rumble, YouTube, video friends on any other platform that you are actively using. And if you think this project, this small media project of mine, these channels, these programs are interesting, useful, informative, and deserve to exist in this field of news and political commentary, please consider to support my work with small donations through PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or by subscribing to my Patreon page. You can see links under this video in the description box or in the pinned comment. This is it for now. Have a great day. And by the way, before I go, I remind you that from Monday to Thursday at least, I will have a schedule like first update, then headlines. And headlines is a short video of about news that I will talk about in my second update, which will be on Patreon page of mine, and evening time 9 o'clock live stream with Telegram reports program on my channel on Rumble. So yes, this is it for now. Have a great day and take care.